Hello and welcome to a brand new video. Now, in today's video, I want to make this video. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but with a lot of value packed into it. A common thing that I've been noticing across a lot of my calls is the fact that there's a lot of fence companies out there that have crews available, but the jobs just aren't there. So you end up having something like this visual photo right here where you have the crews, you have people watching. And by the way, full transparency, this was made with AI. So there are some errors. There are things that shouldn't be here. But I think it still serves a point of the fact that you have crews, you have people ready to build, you have people ready to make stuff happen, but you just don't have the work available. Now, there's a couple different things on kind of why this is happening and essentially how to get out of this situation where you're like in a place where you don't have enough work, but you have the crews available, right? The first thing I want to start off by prefacing is the common thing that not a lot of people talk about but know is actually true is the fact that yes, finding workers and finding people that can work for you and build fences isn't very hard. Like fences are relatively easy. Like you can train someone that has never built a fence before quite easily if you know how to do it correctly yourself. The issue is finding trustable, reputable crews that actually want to do a good job and put a good face to your brand, right? Because these are the people that will be in front of the homeowners that are going to refer you to other customers. You can't just get anybody on the job site. You want to make sure that the people that are on the job site can actually represent you in a well manner. And that is what is hard to replace. So if you already have someone that is good, not having work really puts you in a difficult position where you're like, okay, I don't have work. So one, I can't get money in for myself, but two, I have a good crew, but I don't want to lose them, right? So, especially with spring coming in, like that's a very important emphasis that I want to put like across everybody that I speak with as well. But getting into it, the couple of different things that are I notice are the common things of why this isn't really working is one, the owner of the company is not doing what he is supposed to do in an ROI perspective. What I mean by that is there's a lot of things that you can do as an owner that would essentially be a lot higher leverage than things that you are doing right now. For example, if you're watching this and you're still spending your time chasing leads, following up with homeowners, texting people back and forth, having to manage the back end, manually writing out quotes and estimates and doing this and then sending them out. If you're doing any of this, you're arguably probably spending 30 to 40 hours on your week on things that you don't have to do, that aren't the highest leverage tasks. And you know this probably. So if you just take a rough consideration of 30 hours a week, just maybe on average, maybe 25, and you take the whole salary of what you made last year and you divide that by 52 weeks, and then you divide that by like how many hours a day you work and on an average week, you can map out your average hourly rate of how much you make an hour, and you can actually figure out if what you're spending time on makes sense and how much time you're wasting. I did this with the prospect once, and we were on a call. We had a conversation. He made 300,000 a year before, like 2025. And basically, we mapped out that he was spending 20 hours every single week, wasting time following up with leads, which then mapped out to being around. I'm probably going to say it in my head. I don't have my calculator. Well, actually, let me not do that. Let me do it on my calculator so I can properly do it with you guys. Okay. So his hourly rate was 115 an hour. He was spending 40 hours a week. That's 6,000 a week. He did that for a month, which is 24,000 a month, which is then equivalent to 288,000 a year. He was operating on half of what he is able to operate on if he did the right things. What I mean by that is step one, as the owner, take the role of doing what you're supposed to do. Take the role of doing the most highest leverage task, which is actually going out there, speaking with the homeowners, selling the job, right? Which is on the back end, managing a crew so that they get more jobs in. But then the question comes back to, all right, I can do all of that. I can focus on doing what I need to do, but how do I get the most jobs in the first place? Well, happy you kind of clicked on this video because I'm going to cover that exactly with you. And to be fully transparent with you, yes, by the end of this, I'm going to ask you to, if you want to, streamline this process and work with a company that is trusted, reputable, and actually done this multiple times. I will ask you to book a call down below because frankly, it is for your best interest. However, if you don't want to do that, I'll still cover the exact steps on how you would do it yourself. Now, the first thing is to realize what you're using right now. Now, most people that I speak with have probably tried or are actively using like the common lead platforms, right? So we're talking Home Advisor, we're talking Yelp, Angi, Thumbtack, it might be any of them. Common issues with these platforms are that the leads aren't exclusive. That's like a very, very common thing. You have low intent leads, people that might just click on something just for the sake of clicking on it. They have no reason to actually move forward on it. They just don't have any intent on moving forward. Third thing is actual price shoppers, people that just inquire about it, but just to figure out the price, right? They might see an ad on Facebook from Angi's where it says, what's the cost per foot, per vinyl fence foot, like whatever it is, right? And then they click on it, and subconsciously, what happens is when they inquire about something like that, when it's price based, is that the first thing on their mind is price. Okay, that's the first thing. They're only going to think about price. Fourth thing is that there's no actual brand building, right? And there literally isn't, because if you ever try to inquire like a quote from any of these platforms yourself, you're going to realize that when you try to do so, when you get into the actual platform, all you're faced as is another company. Like you're on a list with like 6 or 8 different other companies, and it's just literally your company name. There's no actual brand building. You just seem like a commodity. Because quite in fact, with this process, you turn into one. Right? There's no lie about that. You, other than that, have no control over who you want, right? Because you might get leads that are coming in, and it might be a gate job or repair job, right? It might not be your ideal clients. It might not be from the ideal area that you want to target. You don't have any control of who you're getting in and who you're actually working with. You literally just end up having to go for whatever you kind of get in, especially if you're in a desperate position of getting work and needing to keep your crews busy. You might just end up taking what you got, even though you don't want it, right? Which is another thing. The sixth thing is that you end up paying for every lead. Now, full transparency, I haven't had a one-on-one call with any of these reps in quite some time now, but I have spoken with a lot of our clients that have moved from these platforms to something a lot more predictable. And I've commonly heard that it's one of those models where you end up paying per lead. You can pay per month, but regardless of what you choose, you do still end up paying for leads, even if they are quote unquote, excuse my language, shit, right? You might get a repair job that, I mean, you after like calculating everything in terms of gas, how much you spent going there, the time you spent, the material, just basically everything, and you repaired a fence, like a small little job, you might have made 150, but that lead might have costed you $100. So basically, you spent all that time to make $50. Whereas if you calculate it again, like we did earlier, your time is worth more than $50 an hour. So does it really make sense? Is it really justifiable to do that? Now, yes, you might get that rocket in the sky where you end up getting a job worth 100 grand. But again, you don't want, and I'm saying this based on people I've spoken with and the comment conversations I've had, you don't want one-off jobs. You don't want jobs where one time in the whole year you get this mega job that covers the whole spend. The reason you invest in these type of programs and you invest in getting more business is so that you can do it consistently. Now, yes, I get it. Business can never guarantee be consistent, but you still want to have some sort of certainty that it is going to be relatively consistent, where you don't have to rely on getting that one rocket that just comes by, maybe here and there. It's very hit and miss, right? And that's, moving into the last point, proves that it is a non-scalable model, right? It literally, you can't scale it, right? You don't know your numbers, right? It's very random. So you might just get a lead here and lead there, and you might just end up working with them. Now, the reason I specifically went over this, because it is the most common thing. Now, yes, I get it. Some people haven't even tried these platforms or similar ones. They strictly have just done word of mouth, and that's been what's kind of been giving them business. Now, word of mouth is arguably really, really good. It is a very good way to get business, but it should not be your primary source of business. Reason is because there's always a certain point, and you can think about it yourself, but there's always a certain point where it stops, because the people that you know other people that know other people that know other people, but then it stops, right? It doesn't continue to go that way. And as soon as you're at like the fifth, sixth person, it's not really a referral anymore. It's more so, oh, we know that guy, that might know that guy, that might know that guy. So it kind of continues like that, and there's a cap to it. The market kind of stops at one certain point. And I'd argue like there's more people in your area that don't know that you exist, that need a fence installed, that would love to work with someone like you because of you guys' values and the way that you guys work and the quality and the service. But they're just not aware of you guys. They just don't know you exist, right? Far more than how many people you know in your referrals or word of mouth sphere. Now, so that's like the two main ways that why you pretty much aren't able to keep your crews busy, whereas you're using something that isn't working to provide your leads, and you're also spending the time on the wrong stuff. So there's these two little fires that are kind of fueling that and making it happen, so to say. Now, to put out these fires and to make sure that you, one, start spending time on the right things, but in order to spend time on the right things, you got to get the right leads and the right work in the first place, right? Which is the second part right here. Let's see. Let's go here. Boom. This is what you actually need, right? You need consistent quality appointments, right? Where you don't chase. Literally, where you can access your phone right here and you can wake up in the morning, you can check your calendar, you can see exactly what's set up for the next few days, you can see exactly what's going on today. You can get a full detail of the homeowner, the details, the phone number, basically everything they're looking to get done, the budget, when they want to get started, everything you could ever ask for. And that all you would have to do is going out there, giving the bid, and then leaving the place. Right? One, now that you're getting consistent quality leads, you're not going out there wasting time on bids that aren't worth it. Right. The other thing is that these leads are not shared. Right. So third point there, I kind of skipped there, but these leads are 100% exclusive. Right. People that don't go to 15 other companies just to get a quote. These are people that are literally looking for your service in your area and they want to get it done, right? That's all we want to make sure that we do. Now, we want to make sure that these are people that obviously want to work with your company, not just comparing bids. And this is the other important thing is that we would actually go ahead and brand you guys in a certain way where it's not the same way as you would do with Angie's. With Angie's, people come forward with a front facing brand like Angie's. Okay, so this is through Angie's, this is through Yelp, this is through Home Advisor. What we do is that we like to do it through your company name. Let's say your company was called Backyard Fencing or Flow Fencing, whatever it is, right? They would see Flow Fencing, they would see the company logo, they would see what you guys do, and that is how they would like go ahead and inquire and actually get a quote, right? Now with this, there's also a lot more scalability, right? You're not capped because you're able to make millions just by knowing your numbers. If you know that, okay, for every single $10, I get a lead. For every single $30, I get an appointment. And I need to, on average, visit 10 appointments to get two jobs, which means that if it's $20 per appointment, that is $200 for, sorry, $30 per appointment, that is $300 for 10 appointments, which means that I get two jobs out of that. My cost per acquired job is 150 bucks. You see, so when you do math like that, you're like, okay, so if my cost per job is 150, let's try that for one more week, for 2 more weeks. All right, I guess relatively it looks like it's 200 on an average. Okay, well, let's spend 2,000. The reason you can confidently spend 2,000 is because you know based on data you've been able to get jobs for 200 bucks on average, right? Which means that if you spend 2,000 just based on numbers, you're going to get 10 jobs. And that's how you can continuously scale because you don't end up limiting yourself. It just automatically gives you more because when you spend more, it shows to more people, right? And when it shows to more people get to get interested, just like the smaller sample size. So that's like the fun part of ads. As soon as you crack it, you're able to do this. Not to mention when you run ads and when you run targeted campaigns of yourself, you're actually building your brand and positions you as the trusted authority in your market over time, right? Because what happens is that once people start seeing your ads, and this might have happened to you with any other type of service or industry, is that you might see a certain ad or a certain type of something that you've seen consistently and you continuously see it all the time and you're like, hey man, I've seen this so much, like what is this, let me see what it is. Subconsciously it's built this trust in the homeowners where they're like, okay, I've seen this company so many times. Let me just check what they're all about. And then they actually get to meet you. They like you. They speak with you. They end up working with you guys. It's a full on snowball effect of benefits when it comes to advertisement, not only just directly tied in with the jobs and the money you make, but also with the amount of exposure you get. So that's like the other thing that I would say. And this is obviously the best solution that you want to do, especially now moving into spring 2026. If you guys are interested in figuring out exactly how you can do this for your company, exactly how you can start getting more leads, not having to keep your crews busy like this, and actually stay consistent year round with a predictable and profitable system, click the link below. It's a free, no obligation call with me. If you choose to, you can jump in there, you can build out your own ads campaigns, and I can help you out just completely for that whole hour for free, just voucher out everything, tell you exactly what you need to do, what you need to change, and you can run it yourself. If not, if you want to keep it hands off and you understand exactly what you as the owner needs to do to be able to scale, book that call with me and I'll walk you through exactly how we're going to make that happen for you within the next couple of weeks. And let's scale to the moon together. Because that's honestly the goal with everybody I work with. I want to make sure that they scale. I want to make sure that they get their predictable business, that it's consistent and able to get them work all year round, regardless of whatever season it is or regardless of the time of the month or whatever it may be. So click the link below. I'm super excited to have a call with you and sit down and chat about exactly what you're looking to do. And we'll go ahead and talk from there. Peace out.